Can you hear?
Yes, very clear. Thank you, Mr. Kesavan. You may
Yeah.
restart again.
Okay. Sorry for sorry for the instruction. Okay. And let me start with the from the beginning. Okay, so today I'm going to present about the introduction to the mixed reality. Okay, so before I go for the mixed reality, let me introduce myself. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Kesavan, and I'm from the Utah and under the faculty of FICT. Okay, and under the uh, Department of DIS, okay, information system, okay. So, and even I need to introduce myself, okay, where is my, I mean, focus, I mean, the field that I'm really focused, okay. I'm focused on those who feel something which is related to virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. So I'm on those part, which is the most more to it, which is the human computer interaction. Okay, so before I go through with the introduction, I mean, to the mixed reality, let me come up with a few things, like I need to thanks to a few people, okay, especially like Utah, okay, and even including like MDEC and then the Premier Digital Tech University, okay, and this is a few people, like I like to give a big thanks for them, okay, because they are giving the opportunity for me to present today. Okay, so let me go to the next one, okay, which is the virtual reality. You know why I go through the virtual reality and not go through, the mixed reality? Suppose we today is for the mixed reality, correct or not? But actually, the virtual reality is not is not from how to say, is not a different part from the mixed reality. It's supposed to be is together with the mixed reality. Okay, so what is that? Is a virtual reality. Virtual reality, that means you try to explore, you try to interact with the virtual object through the computer, and that is what we call is a virtual reality. But the things, you're not present, that means you're not exit in the virtual environment. Okay, and how about those, one more which call is augmented reality. Okay, when come to the augmented reality, is there something like, we have a physical environment, and then your your virtual object, something like, your virtual object or animation or something, is like, overlap on top of your physical environment, and that is what we call is AI. For example, like, when you go to something like, the when you something, when you're watching something like, swimming pool competition, okay, over the TV, okay, of course you can see something like, the tech over there, I mean, the each of the participant, the tech, and that is what we call is which is augmented reality. Okay, and a part of that, most of your experience with something like, the Pokemon, correct or not? Okay, and that is what we call is a augmented reality, because it's a, the guy is try to playing with the the virtual object in a virtual environment, sorry, not in the physical environment, and that is what we call is augmented reality. Okay, so, and these two, like the virtual reality, and when it's come to like a mix up together with the augmented reality, and that is a form which called is a mixed reality. Okay, that means it's from the virtual environment, and then it's from the real environment, which is a blend together, and is a come out with a mixed reality. Okay, and how is really work? For example, look at here, the guy, okay, over here in the physical, I mean, the lab physical environment. Okay, and he tried to interact with the object, that means the virtual object, and that is what we call is a mixed reality. Okay, let me go through one more things. Okay, if you have something like, like a confused, okay, how to differentiate, okay, when come to the virtual reality, and when come to the augmented reality, and when come to the mixed reality. Okay, and if you look at here this picture, okay, if you look at this picture, from the first picture, which is a virtual reality, is a completely like a, a 3D environment, but the things you're not exit, maybe you're just like a try to interact with the virtual environment, but your body, your I mean, your physical body is not present inside. Okay, and that is what we call is virtuality. But compared to those who are like, augmented reality, you can see something like the building, all this, and that is what we call is a physical environment. And then from there, we have something like, we can put it like, the building name, the shopping name, something like this kind of information on top. That means it's a overlap on the building, and that is what we call is augmented reality. Okay, but when these two mix together, okay, as I told you, when it's mixed together, and that is we form which is a mixed reality. That means you need to be interact together. At the same time, you can do something like the instruction, okay, interaction, and you can able to the manipulate, do the some manipulation, and that's what we call is a mixed reality. Okay, so even we have something like the virtual reality, augmented reality, and we have the mixed reality. But the most important things, how is suppose we adapt to the mixed reality? It's all is because of the information that you got it. That means you receive from the environment. It's not only about the physical environment, of course, through your virtual environment, and those were information you receive from the sensor. That means the sensory system, like for example, like when you have something like the touch, okay, that means when you try to interact with the object, that means you get it something like the sense, and that is which is try to come up with the present, is come up with the the information, is a try to process. At the end you come up with the the interaction, that means immersive within the environment. Okay, so even we have a lot of things like a progress when it comes to the the mixed reality. But in those were like devices, okay, those were devices which is help you to to present, to to interact with the mixed reality. And we can see a lot, okay, from the year which is 1913, okay, until now which is 2020, you can see a lot. Okay, and from the beginning, which is the stereoscope, until now we have like the news, okay, the new technology, something like the Oculus. Okay, and that is the few like the market, okay, which we have for the mixed reality. And even you can try, okay, especially like those who are Google Cardboard. Okay, this is quite cheap. Okay, and I think maybe you can start, maybe you can start when you want to involve in the mixed reality. Maybe you can start to, with the the Google Cardboard. Okay, and even okay, and even you have go through with like when mixed reality all this, but you need to consider about a few like a designing process. And what is the designing process, especially when come to the realistic environment, new realistic environment? Okay, the first thing is which called is a 3D. Okay, 3D and a visual design. That means when you form something like a 3D object, okay, we need to make sure that this a 3D object is really can be usable, and this really can be work for your system. Okay, for the when I mean when come to the interact with the physical environment. That's the first thing. And also we have something like which call is a understanding of a scale and a positioning. Okay, what is the meaning understanding of a scale and a positioning? Okay, especially like when come to the mixed reality, because you are trying to interact with the physical environment, you need to make sure that you need to put in something like the scale, which is you try to interact with the environment, because you cannot go to outside from the scale. You need to be in the position, then only you can able to interact with the object. Okay, and because that is something like the sensor is try to interact together. Okay, and a part of this, there's a few more things like tracking and a movement. And what are the things that means tracking and movement? Since like you are doing like interact with the the physical environment with the virtual environment. Of course, you need to something like you need to control, correct or not? So that's why we have something like which call is the for example like a Oculus controller. Okay, and this which you able to you need to able to control. It's not only about the Oculus controller, but even something like you can use something like the keyboard, or your mouse also you still can able to use. And apart of that, we have one more things like when you need to when you consider for the designing, which is the animation. Okay, what is the meaning the animation here? Okay, when come to the physical I mean when come to the mix to the physical and then the virtual environment. Okay, and the virtual environment, those object you are trying to make it something like interact together with the physical environment. So you need to come up with something like animation over there. Okay, and which is make it like a interact. And when you when you even come up with something that those kind of information, there's a few special principle that you can able to follow. For example, like solid drawing. Okay, that means is those for animation you are trying to make sure that is a look like a real 3D 3D object. Okay, and that is a few like principle that you can able to follow. Okay, and even like when come to like mixed reality, there's a few things. Okay, and why. Okay, for example, okay, why, and we need to adapt to the mixed reality especially. Okay, there's a few things like is able to be solved in your real environment. Okay, and why. I mean, what is that? Okay, for example here, okay, manufacturing. Okay, what are the meaning the manufacturing here, and how is it really interact together with the mixed reality over here? Okay, look at back to here. Okay, the first one is something like when you go to something like those were those were the car service. Okay, something like that. Okay, and maybe you need to identify something the fault, or something like that. You want to check something like inspect. Okay, so when you're doing something like the checking over there, that means you can able to adapt the mixed reality over here. So it will be helpful for you to come up with something to know what are the things like inside. Okay, and how you can be solved. That means everything will be like making you to like easier for you to be understand. Okay, as it's not only about that, even we have supply chain management. Okay, what are the meaning the supply chain management? You can come up with something like a remote collaboration within like your colleague. Okay, or maybe even with the other people, like you can interact and you can come up with a solution based on the same position that you are standing over. Okay, and not only about the manufacturing, even we have something like experiencing with the like those who are like when you go for the shopping. Okay, and even like you can without without your your try with the the I mean the clothes or something like that. Even you can fit yourself whether it's really workable for you or not. Okay, and not only this one, even when come to the store. Okay, when you try to come up with a build or solve. Okay, or maybe you want to put it something like an object. Okay, and you can see how is really is a person. Okay, the environment, rather than you build the entire the project, and then you can be which is not comfortable for you. Okay, so you can change. You can, I mean, you can simply like manipulate with the object. Okay, through the mixed reality, and you can able to come up with a good design. Okay, if you look at here, this one, okay, which is the shopping. Okay, the shopping mall over here. Okay, rather than like you go through one by one and you pick up like object. Even you can simply, and you can find out what is the the calorie size. Okay, and what are the object inside, and all this you can able to still able to know. Okay, rather than you just like go through the physical environment, and you need to go through one by one. Okay, so it's very helpful when it come to the shopping. And not only that, even we have something like education. Okay, it's very helpful for the education, especially for like something like when you doing something like a interact with the yes, the subject, something like the science subject, or even like those are subject which is involved like something like history subject. Okay, you can able to interact with the real scenario, or even you can able to interact with the real human body or something like that, and it's make it like a more you have interactive. Okay, more interactive, and you it's make it more engaging to your environment. Okay, to your subject. Okay, and not only this one. Okay, not only this one, even you have something which called is healthcare, and is very helpful for your healthcare. Okay, in terms something like a medical training. Okay, and even come up with something like a therapy. Okay, and then come up with something like a treatment. Okay, what kind of things, like for example here we have uh, etc. Surgery over here. That means it's like when you have something like when you go for something like the medical things, like it's not only like directly go to do the surgery. Even you can something apply it like the which I mean the mixed reality over here, and you can adapt to that, and you can able to see. Okay, how you can be do the process. Okay, the surgery process. And not only about this one, even you can support for those who are mental disorder people. okay, to solve their issue, something like to make it like a more calm, okay, and that only is will be helpful. And not only that, even it can help to those for people like healthcare people, okay, especially like those who are fresh graduate people, like if you want to know about to explore the things like before they touch about the the real human body, okay, maybe they can use something like this kind of a mixed reality, okay, they can have some knowledge about this based on the training. Okay, so even we offer like a part of this, even we offer something like a radiotherapy and telemedicine, or maybe even come up with something the solution for the phobia. Okay, so all this you can able to adapt. Okay, and not only this one, even we offer like automotive. Okay, which can able to like you can see how well when you go to like like a showroom, like in a car showroom, okay, and maybe you can you can try with a different part, okay, and you can see, okay, which is a different option you can have, okay, based on that. And not only about this one, even you can try with the when it come to the car repairing, okay, and you can check, okay, what is the the issue with with the the with your with your engine or something like that. So it's easier for you to do something like a diagnostic over here. Okay, and the last one, which call is a social media application. Okay, which is a social media application also is really helpful for you. Like for example, like like Facebook or YouTube or for Snapchat. Okay, you can have something like interact with the people, not only like from the 2D interface. Even you can interact with the the with those for people is a far than from you, and with the based on the what they call the mixed reality way. That means is to the virtual way. Okay, and we have one more things like we already go through with a lot of things like a mixed reality and what is the mixed reality and what is the application. Okay, so we already go through it a lot, but one things like the aptic. And what is that aptic? I mean, it's something like the devices can really can support you to adapt to the mixed reality. That means you can able to get it some sense. You know what are the kind of a sense, especially we call is like a aptic or tactile feedback. Okay, and those were haptic or tactile feedback is you can able to get it, okay, through the vibration. Okay, that means when you try to interact, especially like those were this object which called is hominoid phantom, and even like like armband, okay, my armband, all this like you can giving something like the special vibration, and this vibration can giving something like the touch, okay, the feeling of your touch, okay, with the object, okay, with the virtual object. Okay. Yeah. So the next one. Okay. So before we go through with the the mixed reality, that there's a few things that you need to have, especially something like those for hardware, and when come and also like software. And what kind of hardware actually you can come out. Okay, for example like Oculus, and that is you can use to view the the virtual the virtual world. Okay, and even you can use something like the Xbox, or even like a webcam. Okay, not necessarily you need to come up with the use of Xbox. Okay, but even you can use like a webcam. And then also you need to have a proper light system. Okay, because since like the mixed reality is you need to be used in an indoor environment. Okay, so you need to have something like a good lighting system. Okay, and then we have a software. Okay, especially like a look at if you look at here, we have like a 3D model. Okay, to when you come out with something like to design a 3D model or virtual scene. Okay, you can use something like the software which called is a Unity game. Okay, and even like a 3D Max. Okay, if like a Unity game, usually like we use not only to come up with a 3D model, but even you can use for to come up with the scene. Okay, the virtual scene. Okay, and if and for the 3D Max, okay, and even like a Google SketchUp, you can come up with a like the 3D model. Okay, it's easier for you to come up with a 3D model. And also like few software over here, something like from the Kinect. Okay, and then the green screen, OBS Studio. Okay, all this, okay, you can use for those for purpose like to come up with the mixed reality collaboration, okay, between the physical environment and with the virtual environment. Okay, so how you can set up the mixed reality environment. So if you look at here, this is your environment. So make sure you have for your laptop, your computer, okay, and make sure you have the Wi-Fi connection, okay, which is high, okay, and then you should have something like a Kinect, or maybe you can have like as what I say, like the Xbox, okay, uh, sorry, the webcam, Kinect, Xbox, and then the webcam, and even you can have the Oculus, okay, the device, okay, to view the virtual environment, and also you need to have something like the USB type, okay, the cable, okay, to connect to the the Oculus, and with the I mean with the battery, okay, to have you need to keep on like to function it right. So you need to have like the have the USB cable, which is the 3 point, okay, to connect to the Oculus. Okay, so let's we try. Okay, so before we try, let me tell you on things. Okay, mixed reality is not just like as what I say, something like you are presenting your physical your body into the virtual environment. Okay, it's all together when come to the the mixed reality. That means it's the virtual environment. That means you need to come up with something like the scene. I mean the environment itself. So what I'm going to do right now. Okay, since like we are in the first step. Okay, so I'm trying to come up with the the virtual environment itself, okay, and that will be start with the few process, okay, and the one I try to focus here, the first person controller, because that is a very important when come to the mixed reality. So I'm going to show the one, okay, I'm going to show the process. So let's we try. Okay, so I'm going to be out from the slide right now. Okay. Okay, so you can see right, I mean the Unity environment, the platform.
Mr. Kesavan, kindly share your screen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can see right now.
No, you
uh,
need to share the first option whole screen. Thank you.
yeah, okay, can see.
Still no.
Okay. I'm sorry. Just give me a few minutes, okay. I think I have Okay, now can see, right? Can see.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can see very well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so let's we start. Okay, so this is what we are called is a Unity environment, and to develop the virtual environment, okay, we need to have something like a special software. Okay, as for example, here I have the Unity over here. Okay, yes, yes, okay, so just okay. Yeah. So if you look at here, okay, we have a few like the option over here, the scene, okay, and then we have the game environment, and even we have a SS store. Okay, let me tell you about this SS store. Okay, what are these SS store? Okay, something like if for those for people like struggling with the come up with a 3D object, you can able to you can able to get it like a free object from the SS store. Okay, and apart of that, like people like really want to come up with their own their object. Okay, they can simply come use the like the Google SketchUp. Okay, and then they simply can use it. Okay, to come up with the 3D object. Okay, let me go to the scene. Okay, and this is where the environment you can able to develop the virtual environment, and even once you are developed, then you can able to view the entire the scene, okay, the entire process, okay, through the game. Okay, let me look at here the scene. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now here, okay, I'm going to do the first person controller over here to set up for the mixed reality. Okay, so how to make it, for example here. Okay, so I need to get it. The first thing is need to set up the asset. Okay, so for the asset, I'm try to come up with the, so I just go to the asset over here. Okay, I try to create, okay, I try to create a material over here. Okay, and here I'm going to put it like a floor. Okay, that means I'm going to come up with the material. Okay, which called is a texture. Okay, I'm going to be come up with the texture for the floor. Okay, so I need to create the floor, okay, and I can adapt this texture over here. So how to create, you can simply right click over here and then go to the 3D object, and then you can come up with something like, for example, like maybe I can choose the cube, okay, and from here maybe I can put it like the scale. Yeah. Okay, so I already have the floor over here, and I'm going to rename the name. Okay, so just right click over here and I can make it something like the name for this. Okay, the floor over here. Okay, and here I have the material over here. So I'm going to be put it this material on top of the floor. Okay, so how to make it? You just simply like click the floor, I mean the material, and then select the material that you want to choose. For example, maybe I just want to come up with the green environment, so I just want to put it something like the color which is the green. Okay, with that. Okay, and then I'm going to drag this into make it something like to the floor. Okay, which is like the grass or something like that. Okay, so I already have for the object over here, and then I'm going to come up with a player over here. Okay, a object, okay, a player, that means that's the person we call is a first person controller. Okay, so I'm right click again one more times, and I'm going to come up with a 3D object over here. And this 3D object, maybe I can come up with something like a capsule. Okay, so I try to put it, this is a player. Okay, so I'm going to rename. Okay, so you need to set up, okay, the player to make it like in the right position. So I'm going to try to track a bit. Okay, and now you can see in the the old, I mean the old environment over here with the the first person controller here. So yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, I'm trying to put it, the first person perspective controller. Okay, what is that the meaning here? The first person controller over here. That means it's something like when you try to play the object, I mean the virtual environment, or maybe like when you try to interact with that, those are things that you are seeing from your high. In that is what we call is a first person controller. Okay, and that is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so once you have the floor over here, and then once you have the player over here. Okay, so now I'm going to come up with something like the function which call is a first person controller. As what I say, okay, you can simply can go to the asset store and you can simply type over here the first person controller and you can download. Okay, for example, like here I already type over here the first person controller, and you can see a few, okay, which have a first person controller, and you can simply can edit. Okay, you can simply add on, okay, which is you can filter to get it those who are, which is a free. If you don't want to to buy, so you just go for the free. Okay, so once you, let's say, so I already have the first person controller, so I'm just going to be input over here. So what I'm going to do right now, okay, so let look at here the asset. Okay, just go to the asset and you can see those were the a few options here under the import package. For example, we have the character over here. Okay, so it will take a few minutes, okay, to to come up with the first person controller. The whole entire object. Okay, so I'm going to input the all the scene. Okay, all the the function from the first person controller. Okay, just hold on. It's a bit take a time. Okay, so let's get it. Okay, so we already have. Okay. Okay, so we already have the asset over here. So you can look at here the asset. So when I try to open, okay, and you can see under the character and the first person controller over here, okay, and under the prefab, and you can see the FPS controller over here, okay, the first person controller, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just like a direct over here, okay, and I try to put it over here. Sorry, I'm just drag over here and try put it over here. Okay, so you need to set up, okay, when come to this one, the first person controller and the player is not like a together, correct or not? So you need to make it is a together. So how to make it is a together? You can just simply put it the player under the FPS controller. Okay, that means as a first person controller, and then you can adjust the things. Sorry, yeah, you can just click over here, the first person controller. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so you can get it the camera over here. You can adjust over here on top. Yeah. Okay, so you can do some setup. Okay, and you can able to see the things. Okay, maybe when you try to play a bit. Okay, when you try to execute. Okay, and you can see there is something like a falling down, correct or not? Something like a falling, and you know what the issue is related to something which call is uh, the mesh problem over here. So let me solve. Okay, let me tell you how to solve this issue. So what you need to do. Okay, Let me put it. Okay, so you just click over the player, and then you just need to add mesh collider, and you can able. Okay, okay. So when you walk around, so you are trying to walk around. Okay, yep. So I think you can hear the sound. Okay, something like that. That means you are trying to view from your first person perspective. Okay, okay. So we are done, but I'm not going to be show the whole process over here. So what I'm done, okay, okay, and that is actually this is what we are calling is a first person controller. Okay, so I need to get it. Maybe I need can show you some very quick example. Okay, how it really work. Okay, so I already make it like the full setup, the environment. Okay, and if you look at here, okay, if you look at here this environment, okay, uh, just hold on. Okay, so I'm going to show you the environment over here. Okay, so this is what are the end product over here. Okay, so I'm already done the floor, and then I'm already come up with the character, and then I already come up with the the first person controller. But let's say if you want to make it something like the big environment, and then we want to explore the things correct or not. So now I'm going to show you the entire process over here. Okay, how the output is really. So uh, we are trying to make it like the Utah environment. Maybe like people like you guys like feel like want to visit like a Utah. So maybe you can see right now. Okay, how is really the environment of the Utah, but it's not 100%. It's like exactly like the same. Like it's just like the simulation only. Okay, let me get it. Okay, so I'll go over here. So I'm trying to play over here. Can see, can see right the environment.
Share the right screen, Mr. Kesavan. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Still cannot see.
Just hold on. Okay, I'm trying to open again one more time. Can see? You can see?
Still cannot. You haven't shared the screen. Click reset now.
Okay, okay. Yep, yep. Sorry. Okay. Can see right now?
Yes, can see very clear.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to play right now. Okay, I'm going to play right now. So this is, I mean, what do they call? Just like a part of, Utah environment. Okay, that is what we are done. Okay, but it's not exactly like 100% the same. So let's restart.
Reshare again. It's out already. Click when you click play.
Oh, okay. Is this same? Can see right now?
Cannot, still cannot. You need to click present again now.
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Kesavan, Dr. Lau suggests to
Yep,
share the whole screen.
yep. I'm doing. Yep. Can see right now?
Yeah, very clearly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So let's look at to here. Okay. So can see right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start right now. Okay. So look at here. Okay. This is not the exactly, but it's just like a partially be done. Okay. For the Utah environment. So you can see the old environment, like how it's really look the Utah. Okay. So now I'm going to be play around. Okay. And remember this one which I apply, which is a first person controller here. So look at here. Okay. So I try to move on. So on top, sure. And you can see the environment. Okay. Especially if you look at here, this is our faculty. So I'm going to be near to the faculty over here. Yeah. So this is a FICT faculty. Okay. It's not exactly same. Like it's just like there's just a simulation environment. Okay. And then like when I'm moving around, like even I can see like a few more building. Okay, but actually we have done something like the old environment. Okay, but it's not exactly like the same. Like even like when you even you look at here, there's a one person like over here, and this is what we call is a third person perspective. Okay, comparing to what we are doing right now, which is a first person controller. Okay, and then even we have the Utah Lake over here, Utah Lake over here, and few more buildings like few more faculty over here. You can see, yeah, like if you feel like you want to walk into, yes, of course. Okay, now I'm in the water. I'm inside the water over here. Okay, so now I'm trying to get back. I need to get back to the environment. So let me jump. So even you can go through, okay, the entire environment over here. Okay, yep. So that's all. Okay, that's all from the system over here. So let me go back to the slide. Okay, so you can see right the slide. Okay, so where we are stopped right now. Okay, even like a few people like have a question like how to set up, okay, the environment, the mixed reality. Okay, like maybe I can give you some idea. Okay, especially like when set up the environment, and there's a few things also you need to be look at into the safe conditioner over here. Okay, the first thing is make sure your surrounding environment is clear. There's no something like to make you like feel like uncomfortable with the environment when you try to play. And on more things like make sure your play indoor environment, not in the outdoor. Okay, because in terms of your safety concern. Okay, so make sure you play indoor environment. Okay, and also, okay, when you try to playing with the mixed reality, okay, make sure the environment, when you put it like you need to put it something like the boundary, okay, within the environment with you. Okay, to make sure you're not you're not like go out from the the what they call from the virtual environment to the outside to the physical environment. So that's the most important things like because you if you want to save, or I mean to be stay in a safe. Okay, so because you are interact with the something like mixed reality. And one more things like those for people like above for 30, we only like recommend those for people like above for 30, and not for those for I mean children, those who are below than 13, because of in terms of a safe, okay, in terms of your safe conditioner. Okay, and the last things, okay, we have for like a few program, like for example, like in our faculty, like we have a computer science, and then information system engineering, business information system, and then communication networking, computer engineering, and even we have something like a master of a science, and then doctor of a philosophy. Okay, all this actually we have in our FICT. And one more things like why I need to highlight over here, like those were things like you are learn right now, like a mixed reality. It's not only belong to like the computer science or whatever. It's even can apply to other area. Okay, because all of the people can be taken, because it's so it's like in under the concept which is the human computer interaction. Okay, anyway, like if you have any question, maybe you can post to me, or you can just like send email to me, okay, in a later one if you have any question. Okay, so let me go to end the session. Before that, we have a QA section. Okay, so let me go to the QA section. So do you have any question that you can ask me? Let me check. Do you have
Uh,
any question over here?
check the text box, Mr. Kesavan.
Yep. Okay, so I have a question. Okay, the first question, I think. Yep, yep, you are right. Okay, okay. From what I mean, I may share with you like the general one which usually people can get it. Okay, something like the Oculus. Okay, but actually we are they already like go even more feature level already. Okay, and yes, so correct. And then No. Okay, for the question which is like, it's not only with the camera or even like a Kinect. No, actually, you can able to use the camera like just like a web camera. Also, you still can able to use without the Kinect. Okay, if in some people like they want to make it like get it like a more clear, okay, clear picture, clear, the environment, they prefer to use like a Kinect one. Okay, unless if you want to use like a webcam, make sure that there's a webcam is a high resolution, okay, and can support, okay, and then yes. Okay, but when come to the show some step, okay, like when if I want to show something like a mixed reality, that I need to come up with something like the equipment, like a special equipment, okay, but partially that is what I'm right now. I done something like come up with like a first person controller, and that is the beginning process. And then later one, when so once you come up with the first person controller, and then you need to come up with something like uh, what they call the you need to come up with the I mean the object. I mean the object which is you want to bring into the virtual environment. That means the physical environment in. I mean the virtual object you want to, if you want to bring to the physical environment. So you can come up with the virtual environment. Okay, you can just like adapt to here. Okay, and then once you come out, okay, once you come up with the physical environment and how you can set up, usually you can use something like which call is a UBS, okay, to just like to capture the things. And then you can use the Kinect, okay, doing something like the to the capture the old the I mean your old body, okay. And then you can use something like LIV, okay, and this software is something like to support for your stream, okay, and which you can which can make it like your physical body inside to bring to the virtual environment, okay. And let me go to the next one. Okay, what is the purpose of a mesh controller? Okay, if you ask me, like usually like the mesh controller, like when you create something in the floor, okay, because there's no gravity inside. So for when you put in something like the I mean the virtual object, that means any kind of object on top of the floor, if there's a possibility can be like fall on. So in terms of like to prevent this kind of a issue, we need to come up with something like the mesh controller, and this mesh controller is to try to prevent the object like to fall under the your floor. Okay, is there any called the second person controller? Okay, but usually no. Okay, but usually no, but unless if you want to try to come up with something like uh like a second person controller, but usually this yes can be applied when come to something like a collaboration. Okay, something like especially when come to the mixed reality, yes, it's not only about the first person, and even you can come out with the third person, correct or not, but the second person is we actually we consider that as a third person, but yes, you can try. Okay, you can try it like just like in terms of a individual, but I don't think so like the second person is exit. But usually we have something like a first person controller and third person controller. First person controller, that means is that is what you're viewing, and then the third person controller, that means that those were people in the part of you, that is it. But I don't think so second person controller, but maybe you can come on. I feel like the second person and third person is considered same. Okay, yeah. Okay, can walk on water. Yes, of course. Like what I showed to you. Okay. Yes, of course. You can walk through inside. Okay, to the water, and even you can get back to. Yeah. Okay. One desktop application. Okay. What is the desktop application name? Okay. So if you ask me what is the desktop application name for to create the AI, you can use the Unity as what I'm used right now. Like the Unity over here. Okay. This is a software that I use. You know why? Because when you have okay, I think you can see my screen, correct? I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah, say if you cannot see, but let me explain to you. Okay, like the Unity, there's a function like which call is a convert to the mobile application, and because the usually the AI is need to be used something like a mobile application, so definitely yes. Okay, let me go to the next. Yes, internet game is yeah, is involved with a multiple player. Yep. Okay, if any industry apply in MR, which is currently in Malaysia, Actually, there's a lot. Okay, there's a lot, but maybe we are not aware about that. But usually, like when go to something like as what I say, like in a or in a hospital, like in the medical field. Okay, you can see a lot of things like when they are doing like how to say, when they're trying to doing something like training or something. Yes, they apply the things. Okay, it's not a new to like our Malaysia, but the things like we are moving on. We are like yeah, we are moving on from the virtual and virtual reality and the augmented reality. We are trying to moving to the mixed reality, so it's not a new, but we are in the progress. Yes, actually we have. So do you have any other question? So if you don't have a question, so maybe we can just end up for today. So anyway, thank you for so much. Okay. So yep, that's all I think so from now. Yeah. Thank you.